Barbie!
I told you to wait in the dream house.
Boys, avenge me! Avenge me! Avengers!
Bazinga.
Scruffy-looking nerve herders.
Ethan Hunt contacted you?
I am good, Rooster. I'm very good.
So you are Yoi's a trainer who trains.
Gonzo the Great will ride this baby again.
Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Real Serious Podcast. We got a packed show today. We got the Materialists. We got How to Train Your Dragon. And for those out there, we see them on the message boards. We see it on the Reddit pages and saying, folks, when are they going to stop talking about Marvel? Today is that day. We're going to talk about DC instead. God damn it. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. Joined by Jack right now. Charles will join us in a little bit. But Jack, welcome back, man. We missed you last week.
It's been like way too long. I was just thinking about like getting the whole setup together, and I was like, it feels like I haven't been on for like a month, especially with just not having seen as many of the new movies that have been coming out as I would have liked to. It just like it feels like an eternity. So I was really looking forward to it today.
No, and actually, for the first time in a couple weeks, we've all seen at least one of the movies, which is hype.
Yes,
we did, boys. We're back.
Well, I was looking at my top three, and I was like, kind of like looking at all of our top threes or so after this weekend, and what that looked like, and I was like, I gotta like force Charlie to just like watch Sinners. I just gotta
he's got.
We gotta get like call one of his roommates, like trap him, and just be like, hey man, there's this movie I think is really good, and just like force him to watch it. I'm like, I feel like that's like a must, and especially with how much steam it's just. I mean, it came out in April, and I feel like it still has so much steam, and there's so much love for this movie still. So it's
1,000%.
I feel like it'll definitely be up for like awards season. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, the Real Serious Awards.
Exactly.
See you then.
Exactly.
So I got a live look at Charles right now. He is leaving what appears to be work. But let me tell you what's at this corner of Charles's work, and this is an electric little corner here. They got a kava, a Chipotle, a Rush Bowls, a fried chicken place within what appears to be about 300 feet of each other.
It sounds like corporate heaven.
Yeah, that is awesome. So sign me up for whatever corner this is of life. And so yeah,
kava and Chipotle, just the switch off is
I'm gonna give some live updates as we go along with Charles to see where he's at. We're gonna track him. Real good.
Love it.
So, but yeah, no, we got some good stuff today. Honestly, not a packed show, but some good stuff to go off of. Some sneaky, surprising trailers that were a little shocking how quality they were. And yeah, two reviews. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been watching this last week. Jack, please do me the honors. Tell us what you've been up to the last couple of weeks.
Last couple of weeks has been a little slow for me, unfortunately. I have
tough. I
got through season 1 of Succession, so I started that kind of like I think it was like the day after I finished my first class at school. So I was like, I've slowly been churning out some episodes there, but I'm like roughly about halfway through season 2. Pretty easy show to binge considering it's like hour long, but then there's like 4 seasons that are 10 episodes each.
Yeah.
40 hours.
Too.
Yeah, and it's good. And it's crazy because I was sitting watching with, part of an episode with my dad. And it's like these episodes, like nothing crazy happened every episode, but it's just like so memorable and still so entertaining that I just like want to watch more every single episode. So I love it. I think it's just such a well acted, well written show, and I'm excited to see if it I feel like it drags on towards the back end because I feel like
it does not.
They just do this. They do the same stuff, but it's just always
drag.
Like
let me tell
it's
you,
so different.
It does not.
I'm so pumped to see how it ends. But in terms of movies, I went on a super awesome bender for Nick Cage. Just like kind of like unironically, like I wasn't like, yes, we're watching just Nick Cage, but it was just like, you know what, like I've wanted to watch this. So we watched Lord of War, which is a movie about Nick Cage being an arms dealer. Very much feels like...
Is that the one where it follows the life cycle of a bullet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only thing in that movie I've seen.
Yeah, so I want to say Raiders of the Lost Podcast They're one of the podcasts that I listen to. They're like the two twin brothers. I think I don't remember which one it was, but one of them did a video on it, and it was super sweet, just talking about the intro. But seriously, it's like in the beginning, it's Nick Cage, and they kind of like show all the bullet shells that are just like surrounding him, and then it like zooms in on his face, and he's like, there are currently X amount of firearms in circulation, and then he's like, that's approximately enough for one in every 10 American, or 1 in every 10 people in the world to have one. And he's like, the question is, how do you get guns to the 9 other people or something? I don't know. It does it a lot more, smooth, but it's like, honestly, like, I think it does drag a bit, but like, I really like Nick Cage in this. I like Nick Cage in general. I feel like I think overall, I don't think he's like the greatest actor ever, but I think I just like have a very weird like love and appreciation for his movies. So that one was really fun. I liked it. Really kind of fun Ethan Hawke role too. He's like this police officer that's kind of like against him, so they're like button heads the entire time. But that one's fun. And then kind of hop straight into another one in Gone in 60 Seconds. Angelina Jolie is just, it's a very odd Angelina Jolie role. I don't know. Have you seen this movie?
I've not seen this movie. You've got a couple that I haven't seen. My Nick Cage knowledge, I unfortunately have to say, is limited, and that's a thing I want to hide from the world. But I'm saying it right now.
It's honestly, it's okay. I think he has like a bunch of like hidden gems. Like I don't think every movie he's in is just like so good, but I do think like there's a lot of movies in his filmography that are like really underrated, like Face Off. Like I love that movie. I think it's just like silly and wacky in the best way possible. I know that's one that I don't think you and Charlie have seen, but this one's really just like they're really just stealing cars the entire movie to like save his brother, and it's fun.
So they steal cars for family?
Yeah, basically. That's what it is. So it's like I watched it and I was like, you know what, I kind of like this. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Fast and Furious. I'm like, you know what, maybe
it's reminded me of the Fast and Furious.
Maybe it needs to give me a chance. I need to give it a chance. Maybe I should give the Fast and Furious another chance.
Yeah, I think so.
But I was like, because I think this one, it's like, I think if Nick Cage wasn't in this movie, I really wouldn't have like. I don't think I would have really liked it, but definitely fun. Just kind of like goofy. But I like, have you seen the video of Nick Cage? He's like, let's drive, or like, let's ride. I don't remember. Like, you've definitely seen it. I can't remember it for the life of me. I watched.
I think I've seen that
2 weeks ago.
A gif of that.
But he like does something like that. He's like has like his hands in the air and kind of like goes forward. He's like, all right, let's ride, or something like that. Basically trying to be like Russell Wilson. But that was good. I liked it. I mean, I gave that 2.5 stars. It just felt so Fast and the Furious to me. But again, Nick Cage saved it for me. And then went with a classic Nick Cage role, Raising Arizona. Very quirky, very like Wes Anderson-esque. Especially in the first like 20 minutes of this movie, it feels like Wes Anderson was literally like a part of this movie in some way, shape, or form. A lot of fun. It's a Joel Cohen directed this movie. And I don't know. It's just so quirky and it's weird. And the movie knows it's weird. It's very self-aware of what it's trying to be. And I think I like those movies when like they're being really weird and really awkward, but like they know it. And it's not like coming across as like, oh no, they have no idea what they're doing. But it's done intentionally to more or less just, I don't know. It's just like, it's so absurd and it's so crazy. And I feel like Nick Cage, those are just some of the roles that I think he just really thrives in. So watch Raising Arizona, like that, and then watch Materialists this week. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to go and see Ballerina. I'm finally going to finish the John Wick movies, watch John Wick 2. I think I like it more than John Wick 1. Like the action sequences are just unreal.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's crazy too that the 1 and 2 are arguably the worst of the 4.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
At least to
excited.
me. Like I somehow think they get better every single time.
I've heard 4 is like just like, I mean, I know that
4 is insanity. 4
I do know how 4 ends.
Insane.
But I it's just like every time I sit down, or even for the first one, I'm like, there's no way he can just like run around and shoot people and just like in the most stylized way possible for 2 hours, and I'm gonna just eat it up. But like I do. I love it so much, and I think these movies are just going to get better every single time I watch them. But ended up with a 4-star on that one. Really liked it, and I looked at maybe they're doing a John Wick Chapter 5. I mean, Letterboxd is just saying that the director is potentially they're coming out with a 5th one.
John Wick
No
5?
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but love seeing Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves teaming up again. Shout out the Matrix.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I would love to do a Matrix episode. I love that movie.
I'd
And I
like
don't
to
know
do a
if that's-
Matrix trilogy episode because I think
Okay.
talking about the sequels would be insane.
Yeah, I'm in. I haven't seen either of the sequels. I've just heard like the first one's the best, and like after that, it just kind of gets super like it's just not as good. So people are just like, oh, I just kind of believe that the first one is the only one that they made. So I'm like, I kind of left it there, but should I watch them?
I think so. I think you should
Okay.
because they go so weird in a way that, like, to some people works, to others it doesn't. To me,
Okay.
I appreciate what they're trying to do,
Yeah.
but I think you got to watch it.
Yeah. I don't know, but love Keanu Reeves. He's just such a not necessarily my favorite actor, but
Mr.
he has incredible aura. So that's all I got to say about that. Sorry, that went a bit, but
Hey, that's okay, man. Hey, it's been 2 weeks.
that's what I watched.
It's been 2 weeks. It's all good. Mine is eclectic to say the least. All right. Started the week off with an absolute banger. Muppet Treasure Island. Gave it 3.5 stars. Let me tell you, there are 2 people. Correct myself. There are 3 people in the world that I think understand how to act against the Muppets in a true way. And Tim Curry is one of those people.
Mm.
And it's Tim Curry, Michael Caine, and then what's his name from How I Met Your Mother, who did the movie?
Jason Segel.
Thank you. Mr. Segel himself. Those 3 people get it. You treat them like actors. That's how you do it. You don't treat them like puppets. You treat them like actors. And Tim Curry just gets it. This movie is great. I wish they would do more of these, like putting the Muppets in stories like this, and like it's just, oh man, it just rocks. So 3.5 stars for that one. Really like it. The whole joke of like Kermit being this like hardcore captain is awesome. And then Rizzo's just Rizzo, which is just the greatest thing. So really like that. Then I moved on. I'm like, hey, it's Superman time. Gotta prep for it. So I rewatched Man of Steel. A few years ago, I gave Man of Steel 5 stars. Last time I rewatched, I gave it 4.5 stars. Now I'm on to 4 stars.
No.
I think 4 stars is probably my floor for this movie.
Okay,
I do
good.
like a lot of it. I like a lot of the elements. I like a lot of, items here and there. I think the biggest misses still is a deep misunderstanding of who Superman is as a character and the way that like the battle goes. And yeah, I think it's a little overused. It's like, oh, well, he should have cleared away the citizens, or like, it's like, yeah, he should have. Like, I'm sorry, yeah, he like that's what Superman would probably do. And yeah, he got beat a little bit and like pushed back into him, but like even in the points where he doesn't, he still doesn't move away from the citizens a little bit. I think the hopefulness though is good, like calling back to Jor-El and the whole thing, and then when he's got to go through the gravity machine and he's like rising, like I think that's great. Those moments are great.
The score
is awesome.
Phenomenal.
I think the biggest miss here, besides like the Supermanisms is what an underutilized cast. Because you have Lawrence Fishburne and like the entire Daily Planet crew. They don't meet Clark Kent until the last 30 seconds. And it is a great moment of like, welcome to the planet. And he's like, thanks. Like that's such an, like that's a great, and then it was just never followed up with. Followed up with. And I do think my last big complaint here, and I hate to be that guy, but the whole like you're special thing about Superman to me is the opposite of the character. Like the whole, they give him the codex that he's like the last son of Krypton because he has this codex within him. To me is just like, Like I've
Okay.
never felt that Superman should be like this lone, he's like the key to rebuilding Krypton. I was always more of like he just happened to be the survivor and he's just a good man. But it's a little nitpick. Like in the grand scheme, I do think Henry Cavill is visually a wonderful Superman to look at. And he has the moments. He just never got a chance to be a true Superman. And I do blame Zack Snyder for it because the moments that do work where Henry Cavill's allowed to kind of breathe a little bit is great. The moments that are not, that are clearly the Snyderisms are not great. I think the entire scene with him getting brought into like the interrogation room is just like I don't know, it's just not great to me. But I do still like a lot of what this movie has to offer.
Yeah. I mean, almost for me, when I watch that movie, it's like I've gotten to where like I'll just like listen to that score when I'm working out or I'm just like in the car. So it's like I just feel like it's a concert with like super awesome Superman sequences.
Yeah. And I still feel the Kevin Costner father of it all is a weird move of them to do. I like the whole stop, don't save me, son.
Yeah.
Like I get it. He didn't think the world was ready. He didn't believe that it was time for a person like Superman to populate the earth and confuse everybody. But I still think that he could have maybe instilled a little bit more into his son about being a good man. And he did, but like it's like, dude, he could have just grabbed you and you could be like, wow, we got really lucky, huh?
No, sure.
Yeah. But it's just, it is what it is.
I think for like comic accuracy, like 100% definitely not the most like comic accurate Superman, but like for me, it's like I just love the version of Superman that was made in this movie. I'm very excited to see what the comic accurate one looks like with like the most up to date, CGI and special effects. So I'm really pumped for that one. I wanted to bring this up actually. So me and my family are having dinner. Somehow Superman came on. We were talking about Superman, and my younger brother was like, I don't know, dude. I think it's just gonna be weird. Like Henry Cavill is just like my Superman. So it's like I think it'll just be weird to like. I just can't believe they recasted him. This, and this. And my mom is like, that's just so weird to hear you guys say that like Henry Cavill is like Superman because she's like Christopher Reeves. Like when I always think of Superman, like that's who I think of. So I just think it's so interesting to see that like just generations have had their Superman. So it's like, what will this Superman mean to a certain group of people? So I think it'll be. I hope it has a really big impact. And I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for obviously big fans of the character. So
yeah, no, I mean I'm very pumped for just that aspect of it all, and like a whole new generation of kids get to have Superman because like think about even like the Spider-Man of it all.
Yeah,
like I feel like as much as I was a Toby guy, like Andrew was probably my true Spider-Man, like that perfect age of like of being 11 and 13 and seeing the Amazing Spider-Man duology. Like that's like the perfect time. Like I had the VHSs to watch Toby's trilogy, but I didn't see him in theaters, but like those were right there. But then Tom is like also a great, like that's just, you're allowed to have different things. I mean, even too, like Christian Bale is arguably our Batman, but at the same vein, it's like, well, I'm excited for what Robert Pattinson does. And like, I'm pumped for that. Like, it's just so weird that we just Superman, for some reason, you can't touch it, but it's like, yeah, you can. So strange. But then I watched How to Train Your Dragon. I went to an early fan screening, and we can talk about that later. Then Avery came to town, and we watched the 2009 epic movie called Bride Wars, starring Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway. Gave that 2 stars, 1 for each bride who was warring. There's some good moments here, but just overall pretty lackluster comedy, unfortunately. And then I watched The Materialists, which we'll talk about also a little later. And then finally finished it up with The Happy Time Murders. This is Brian Henson's foray into the adult usage when it comes to puppets. So this was the Henson Company, back in 2018, wanted to make an adult movie starring puppets. It's Melissa McCarthy, and Elizabeth Banks, and Joe McHale, and it's about a LAPD detective who is a puppet, who is trying to solve the murders of his brother, who was on a former children's show, and all the cast members get murdered, and they try to solve the murders. Really just shockingly below average. I think there's some good moments here, like a few comedy bits that work, but I think that this fails which is actually funny because it's also directed by Brian Henson. This fails where the Muppets Treasure Island works, where this continuously, constantly looks at the camera and goes, look at these puppets doing weird stuff that adults do. It's like, no. Treat them like people. And then that's how you pull in the story, and that's how it works. And so that, I think, is the biggest error when it comes to all this. But yeah, for some reason, I was just like, I haven't seen that since it came into theaters.
That's crazy.
7 years ago. So I decided to watch it again, and it's not good. So yeah, that's all I got for what I've been watching.
Hey, we've been eating good.
We've been eating good. But let's move on to some new. Actually, let's do a Charles update. Oh, Charles must have got a Teams message. He is still at work. That's tough.
It's okay.
The Teams ping probably hit him like a truck. All right, let's move on to some news. First and foremost, before we get into the DC of it all, Robert Eggers is going to direct a Christmas Carol for Warner Brothers. He is writing the script right now, and he's going to produce it as well. And he's writing it with Willem Dafoe in mind to play the one and only Ebenezer Scrooge. And let me tell you, this is like a cinephile's Mad Lib. I mean, this is just electric on all facets. I am so in on this. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I saw this and I was like, I need to see if this is real.
Yeah.
Like everyone that loves movies loves Willem Dafoe. And everyone wants to see Willem Dafoe get an Oscar. Like
yeah,
this is his shot. Like
this is it.
I mean, he's had
we found
he's had just so many great performances, but it's like, please, just give it to him,
please.
But I'm still saying, Robert Eggers, come on, man, you gotta do like the Jonestown, or not Jonestown, yeah,
do Jonestown, buddy.
The studio, like the Roanoke, what I was talking about earlier, when all the like the colonies they set up and then they come back and it was like all gone.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah.
Yes. I was like, dude,
no, that'd be awesome.
He's gotta, like, I feel like he would totally rip that.
He's kind of become like a Christmas guy. Because like Nosferatu came out at Christmas. Werewolf's going to come out next Christmas. And now obviously the Christmas Carol is going to come out at Christmas.
Yeah. He's just he's
just a Christmas guy.
Yeah. He's just such a unique director. And I feel like just the way his movies look and how they feel is just so. I think I'm just interested though, like especially with like the Wes Anderson of it all, where like all the movies feel the same.
Yes.
I don't think this will be the case for him, because I feel like the stories that he's picking still feel like almost fresh and new. So my question was, do you think that we could get like Robert Eggers fatigue? From just like, they all feel too similar. Okay.
I think that I think he's changed up enough. Like I felt a little bit of fatigue watching The Northman.
Okay.
Just because I think after like The Lighthouse and The Witch, it was like, all right, he's kind of done this like northeastern old timey like vocabulary repeatedly. And now he's moved a little more gothic, which I think works well. And obviously Nosferatu, then we're going to have Werewolf, and then Christmas Carol, which is kind of all now you're talking like Eastern European, like old school in that sense. I think maybe at that point we could think of like, all right, let's do a switch up here. And like, what's the next time period we can kind of start to pick on? But I think until then, I'm in a good spot. I think too, I like the one of the Roanoke. That'd be sweet. I think too, like him doing like a very specific Revolutionary War kind of movie would be very cool.
Yeah.
Like just about like one platoon or something like throughout one night. I think would be very cool. And maybe, you know, something supernatural obviously happens, but I think that'd be a very cool kind of story for him to tackle. And like that's a little bit of a different era and a different air. Like, or even too, like I'm trying to think, what's the story where they did, oh man, thinking back to like 8th grade history class right now, US history. What's the one where it was all of the covered wagons and they go up the path
Yes,
and they get caught up there and they don't make it down.
They
Like, that
freeze. Yeah.
yes, that would be a electric Robert Egger story.
Yeah. I feel like that's just like right up his alley. And I feel like it's just
Yeah.
such low hanging fruit that he's just like, nah, it's too easy for me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one day though.
Maybe
One day.
But yeah, so that is that piece of news. Next up is Transformers 1. Unfortunately, fans of the animated movie, as in myself, will not be getting a sequel to Transformers 1. There is no sequel planned, even though obviously the ending set up for a pretty big sequel, had a post-credit scene. So yeah, no Transformers 1 sequel, unfortunately, will be happening. So I'm sorry to all the Transformer heads out there like me, all the Autobots. We're not rolling out this time.
It's pretty like disappointing. I mean,
I
I'm
know,
not
it
even.
is.
That was like literally the first Transformers movie I've seen. I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was like mind blowing by any means, but I was like, you know, this is good, and I think it can lead to something that could be great. So it's
Yeah, it was good.
It sucks to kind of see them chop it off here.
No, like it looks really like it just stinks.
Animation style was great too.
Yeah, and I was like really interested in the story, and like it's just so much better than the other Transformers things that we've gotten.
I think it was a poorly marketed movie. I
Big
really
time.
do. I mean,
time.
holy cow. That movie, like I saw the trailer. I remember we clowned on it for forever.
Yeah, we were like, this looks awful. And then
This
I
looks,
saw
yeah.
it, I was like, I get it.
And I saw it. It's good. Dude, that ending was awesome. I
Yeah.
mean,
It was great. Oh well.
marketing. What can you do?
Nothing apparently. But yeah, all right. So the next pieces of news are all DC related. So let's jump into those. First piece of news is about the Batman 2. So James Gunn is saying we're still making the Batman 2. We're just waiting on the scripts. Matt Reeves is a little slow at the old typewriter, but it's still happening, which is great. He was also asked about, hey, will you ever, cross over? He goes, well, not as of now. That's not the plan, but, never say never. And then he was kind of talking about how his biggest problem in the DC universe is the Batman problem. What do you do with Batman? You obviously have a popular Batman, Robert Pattinson, who has a universe and a franchise going. And then you also want to obviously put Batman in your DC universe because Batman is one of the Trinity. Like, why would you not have your own Batman going on? And so they're working through what that looks like right now. He's working with apparently the writer of his Batman in the DCU. This is just silly. We just got to combine these two. Or, you know what? As much as I love the Batman, we got to just cut ship on one of them. We need a Batman moving forward. I don't want two Batman moving forward.
Yeah. I
think
I still stand in the same place. I know. And I think especially hearing like, what was it? I saw something, maybe this could be misinformation, but I want to say in the new Superman movie, they were saying that, heroes have existed for decades.
For a long time.
Like a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously they could have had no idea that was something that, Batman or that universe could have done. But, I see the vision. And if they were to combine them at this point, I would be happy. Like, I think it'd be awesome.
Just bring them together.
I think I don't know. Maybe I could see the Superman movie and be like, yo, do not put these guys in the same movie. But, I don't know. I just want more of the Batman. At this point, I think we're going to get a Logan-style Batman movie where Robert Pattinson is 50 years old and it's just...
Yeah, it's just called The Batman again.
I'm terrified. And the longer I go without hearing about the Batman, I just head into my room, put my face in the pillow, and cry myself to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Obviously they have a big problem because before he came in, they made the Batman. And so it's like, geez, now we got to kind of shoehorn either this guy in or let, Matt Reeves finished out his trilogy, but also it's like, hey, we got a DC universe up and going. Like, what are we gonna have? Wonder Woman and Batman and Green Lantern, or Superman and Green Lantern, and then this is like, where's Batman? But also, I think this is a great opportunity to do like maybe Batman in the DCU is kind of a lower level guy. Like, he doesn't have to be like Batman quite yet, where he's like one of the Trinity, but like, maybe in the second one he starts to get a little bit bigger. And also, you could just do Batman by himself, but he's also just in it. Like, he doesn't have to, like, they could just say, yeah, the Batman is a part of it, and then that's it. Like, you don't have to be like, the Batman 2 is now him and Wonder Woman hanging out for 4 hours. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, that's how the comics work. It's like, yeah, they do their own thing in their own cities for, weeks on end, and then it's like, all right, now we'll do a crossover book. It's like, yeah, just do that. We don't need them to cross over, movie 2. Like, we already had that. It didn't work out. So I don't know.
It just would feel so silly to just have, the
too...
whole squad there and he's not there.
I know. I think
it's frustrating as like someone who, and look, I totally sympathize for Matt Reeves. When you create a masterpiece like that, how do you follow it up?
Yeah,
it's got to be hard. I'm hoping that he can somehow pull it together and give us something great for the Batman Part 2. Just hoping that it happens. But holy cow, he's made great stuff in the past. So I have faith in him, and I really hope that he can pull it together. Hope, knock on wood, that's not going to come back to bite me.
Yeah. And I mean, too, so he talked about Wonder Woman as well, and that's the other one I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, he thinks, is actually going to be easier for him to jump into and like bring into the universe because of the lack of the Batman problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I agree. I really hope that they make Wonder Woman like really awesome, because I think that, we got Batman v Superman. She was in it. She was pretty good in that. And then Wonder Woman came out and it was like, wow, this is actually like pretty great. And then it's just like the bag was just fumbled beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, Wonder Woman should be like your tent pole, like, as much as maybe, maybe that's the way that James Gunn tackles this. Like, as much as you have Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, maybe like Superman and Wonder Woman are kind of your two leads, and then Batman is kind of like the third pillar that's like there, but also kind of doing his own thing. But we'll see. I mean, I truly do think that depending on the success of Superman within the next year, we'll get another one of those like big timelines of like, here's what's coming in 2027, 28, 29. Yeah. And I think that I would not be shocked if Batman got moved, as in the DCU Batman got moved to a little later, and then Wonder Woman kind of took that primary role. But we'll see.
Do you think you could possibly be there for that announcement?
I don't know. So they're apparently not saying they're going to do anything at Comic-Con this year, but I would be shocked if they don't do something. Like, this is like the chance, like, you got all the momentum in the world. It's like, especially if Superman becomes a big hit, people love it. It's like, keep the momentum.
There's like a week.
rolling.
There's like a week there though, right?
Yeah. So it comes out
about a month from now, right? Yeah.
It goes out about a month from now. And then it's like 2 weeks after release is Comic-Con weekend.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought.
And also, you could just take the wind out of the sails of Fantastic Four, too.
Yeah.
Like,
that
even just
Superman is
like a casting announcement.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. That's such a good little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
But like, even if you just do a casting announcement for somebody, like, that would just be enough, I think, to get the ball rolling. Like, even if it was just like, thank you all for the success of like Superman. Also, by the way, welcome to the universe, our Diana Prince. It's like, people freak out.
That'd be
like,
cool.
just a little thing like that, I think, would be electric. So, but yeah. All right. Then the final piece of news is that James Gunn is working on a Superman sequel or follow-up project. He said it's not necessarily a straightforward sequel as in a typical Superman 2, but it's some way a sequel that is a different version than just a direct sequel. So we'll see. I don't know. I feel like Superman deserves a sequel. In a world where we got 3 Ant-Men, he
deserves a trilogy.
I'd like a Superman 2.
100%.
Yeah.
There's just no reason, especially.
There's no reason.
Unless this is like the worst superhero movie I've seen in the past 5 years, they just need to keep rolling.
Yeah.
And unless this gets really bad reviews, I'm sure they can, gut what they had and restart and, kind of change where the problems were found to be.
Yeah,
and
they
just
can pivot
this
a
new
little
one
bit.
if that happens. Yeah, exactly. But I think what people are going to have problems with aren't really going to be with the overall tone of the movie. I think if anything, it would be the structure of the story. So I think if anything is a problem, it's maybe the writing. So I feel like that'd be an easy thing to pivot on, or not an easy thing to pivot on, but it's not like you have to completely gut the character. So
Agreed.
yeah, just make a second one and then a third one.
I mean, too, like, so we got Superman this summer, Supergirl next summer. Like, we're moving, because they have said too, like, so like obviously DC has like the Trinity, but like the DCU is going to have the Trinity plus Supergirl as like the fourth leg of that.
That's pretty cool.
Group, which I think is, I agree. I think that's pretty awesome. Also, Batman.
Have you seen
like just super underpowered in that group?
He's the weakest one.
Yeah. He always is.
Have you seen the potential casting rumors for did you guys go over that last week?
We did not. Like the
Yeah,
Isa
okay.
Gonzalez of it all.
Yeah, I'd love her. She'd be great.
Yo, yeah, dude, she's so good. Like she's good in Hitman, she's good in Andor. Like that'd be they do need to pick someone who's like physically imposing, I think.
Yeah. And as much as I do love, Anna de Armas, and it sounds like she did a great job in Ballerina, like I would love for them to just maybe pick someone that's a little bit like.
I don't want Anna de Armas.
I agree. I think David Cornsweet was like a great pick for Superman, because he's not like, for some reason, Tom Hardy's sitting on the top of my head. I'm not saying Tom Hardy would ever play Superman, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's fun. And that's again, going back to the Hunger Games. I like that for like their big characters, they kind of choose these very talented young individuals that like
Isa Gonzalez when I meant Adria Arona.
Oh,
my
crap.
bad.
See,
My bad.
I knew
My bad,
who you were
Adria.
talking.
My bad.
See, my brain just already knew who we were on.
So embarrassing.
We were locked in.
She's literally a fan of the pod. This is just tough. This is tough for us.
We'll just text her after. She'll understand.
Yeah, no, we'll send her a Teams message. Actually, we'll have Charles do it right now. He's at work. But yeah,
I'd like them to pick somebody that's like kind of lesser and like they can make their name as this character, and I think that's what's fun. Like no, preconceived notions of who the actor is or the work that they've. I mean, largely, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
okay.
I'm with you, and I think too, like you need someone who can hold their own and look like physically there, and I think that's hard. And I think that was actually one thing that Gal Gadot did well. Is I felt like she was physically.
Her presence was great.
Yeah, she was a good presence, which I think was huge.
Kal-El, no.
Kal-El, no.
Yeah, the urge to say that every single time we bring up Wonder Woman is just I held
enough
myself
wine
back
to
as
feel
long as I
denial.
could.
Yeah. Never forget Snow White.
It's so good.
All right, let's get into some trailer talk. We'll just keep the DC train going. That's Superman trailer 2 for buying tickets. Did you get your tickets yet?
I haven't. I'm in like a weird situation. I'm just like traveling.
Dude, they're selling out quick.
I know. My brother's coming in town. I will 100% see it, but I'm not too worried. Maybe I should be. But I'm traveling in, I think, like that Wednesday or Thursday that the movie comes out, so I don't want to like purchase them and then like travel plans or something mess up, and then my brother's coming. It's a mess, but I will 100% be there. Fingers crossed. Opening night. Well, maybe not opening night. The night after.
There you go. Here, let's see how mine are looking.
So
I got two showings week 1. I'm going to the early screening on Tuesday the 8th, and then I will be going again on opening night Thursday the 10th.
I wanted to do the Tuesday night, but I'm out of town, and I'm just like I have no idea what my schedule is going to look like, and I didn't want to have to like get the tickets and then not be able to go, and
fair enough.
It's a mess. But
fair enough.
I'm pumped. I'm excited for it. Dude, it's so close, dude. I feel like we just looked at these movies and they just felt so far away.
I feel like Superman felt so far away, and it's like less than a month. Let's see my Dolby screen. Yeah, my Dolby screening is almost sold out for my Thursday.
Did you talk about the popcorn buckets for Superman last week?
We did not talk about the popcorn buckets.
Have you stashed away some?
So I actually thought about that. I don't know if I'm going to get any of the popcorn buckets for Superman.
Yeah.
because I think there's gonna be cool merch at Comic-Con, and I'm gonna wait for that.
Yeah, fair enough. The Funkos and stuff look pretty good though.
Yeah,
I like
no,
the
great.
crypto Funko. That's pretty. I mean, I haven't gotten. I think I've tried to cut back just in terms of how much space I'm gonna have, but I really love what they've done with the pops for these.
I'm with you. But the big thing from that trailer that people, obviously we got to see a little bit more Superman. We got to see some more action scenes. We got to see the heat vision in full glory, and we also got the teeth against the glass, which was that was
I
pretty sweet.
loved it.
That was
I
a
loved
great
it.
moment. Yeah.
Very James Gunn.
Very James Gunn in a way that I think works for Superman. We got some more Guy Gardner. We got some absolutely hater Lex, like who raised him? I'll kill them too. Is just the ultimate hater move. We got some more Crypto action, like Crypto taking the helmet off that guy so he could punch him was great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I still think there's a very specific visual style to this movie that I'm not in love with, but I think it works better. The more I see it in motion, the more I like it. Like when I get images of it, I'm like, ooh, but then I see it moving and I'm like, oh, okay, this works. So
yeah, I think I'm with you on that because I think like I'm not like out on this movie by any means, but I think there are like parts of it where I'm like, ooh, like I know the scene that Charlie loves where he's like, hey, look up here, like that whole scene.
Yeah,
I'm not like in love with how it maybe necessarily like looks visually to me. Like for some reason it just looks off. But like I think if I just see it, like the more I watch it, I'm like, you know what? It's not really that big of an issue for me. And more I'm just like, all right, stop being nitpicky. Like it's not that big of a deal. But yeah. Again, I've already said, like, as long as the tone is there and hopefully the emotion for this character is there, I think I'm gonna like this movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. The next trailer was Ironheart. This was the second trailer or the first full kind of trailer. It was like a little teaser thing for Ironheart. This looks good. I'm not like day one gotta watch it. I mean, I will day one watch it, but like it looks good. And I think the thing that I figured out why it looks good is it's tactile again. Like it's not nanotech. Like it actually like rivets into each other, which is such a thing that we went away from. So I'm actually excited for that. I wonder about the magic of it all, but we'll see.
Yeah. Will Charlie hate watch?
I think Charlie might hate watch. We'll
for
see.
Anthony Ramos.
Yeah, the Ramos man.
Yeah, he showed up for the Hamilton at the tone for when they. I don't know. I
saw that.
They showed up on your feed. Massive. People went nuts. The fact that the entire cast,
actually showed up,
but then the fact that Anthony Ramos was there, people were just appalled, freaking out, reacting like crazy. So yeah,
that's Ironheart. We'll start to do some reviews here in about 2 episodes. And then the next one was Oh Hi. This trailer is Logan Lerman, Molly Gordon. Molly Gordon is one of the co-writers on this movie. This shot up my most anticipated of the year. I thought this looked awesome. I was super into this. I really like this trailer. I like this movie concept.
It feels very like camp, like very quirky.
In a way that I really like.
And I hate that I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But I feel like I just see this actress and I'm like, I just know this movie's about to be super quirky.
Is it the one from Thunderbolts?
Yes.
Yeah. Geraldine Visenwath. Sorry. She's also a fan of the podcast.
Yes. I it's because like, oh my gosh. It's just like I saw her and it's like I've seen like Blockers and then I saw her in like You're Cordially Invited and then just the trailer from like Drive Away Dolls. Like I get this feeling of like almost quirkiness and like a very fun way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a negative.
In like a way that's just like casual almost.
Very fun, very exciting. So I was like, this trailer, like I was watching this and I was like, where is this going? I was like, this could get very dark very fast. And then it just kind of like got very funny, a lot of humor. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily as high on this as you are, but I think this is an interesting direction, and I think it'll make
this this scratched every itch that I like when I see like a trailer. I don't know, and also I've been like a big Molly Gordon's the next next one up. Like
Okay.
I truly do believe like Molly Gordon is like she's next. And like
Yeah.
I felt that since like Booksmart, like she was good in Shiva Baby, she's great in Theater Camp is awesome. If you haven't seen Theater Camp, really recommend. I
Yeah.
think it's in Hulu. She's really good in The Bear, and this just looks like her kind of she's ready, like star turn moment. So hopefully,
I'm excited for it. I mean, it looks very unique and creative. So like,
agreed.
I gotta respect that.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
speaking of The Bear,
The Bear, season 4.
we got a week.
Is it next week?
I want to say,
Man,
not next episode we'll be talking about it, but I want to say all episodes start streaming.
next week.
I think it's like the 24th or something.
Wow. All right. Heck yeah.
It's insane to me. I just can't believe that we're about to get peak television back on the screen. So, tiny TV has been cooking, man. TV has been cooking. We've been blessed.
We're on the come up for TV. Next trailer is The Naked Gun. This was the second trailer we got for The Naked Gun. First, like full trailer. This looks so good. I'm so in on that. I love this trailer. The OJ joke played well again. Like, I'm really sold on Liam Neeson here, and Pamela Anderson. What a great addition to this cast. The Take a Seat is just so simple but so good. And honestly, the unsung hero of this was the Spirit Halloween joke.
Yes,
great joke.
I thought that was so
great
funny.
Joke.
Anywhere closes up, that sign's going up. I mean,
Yeah,
got it. I don't know. Like I haven't seen the original. I know you've seen the original. How many are there?
there's 3 Naked Guns.
Okay. Well, I guess I need to. I don't know if it's necessary that I watch all of them. Is it? But I'll definitely.
I think the first one at
watch the
least.
first. Yeah, 100%.
Because the thing that the Naked Guns do is like they pull from the previous ones. Like they'll do like running bits.
Yeah.
And so if you've seen the first one, you've kind of seen like the bits of the rest of them.
No, this looked like fun though. I mean, looks like a fun movie and go. Just like this looks so unique for Liam Neeson too. Like just from all the movies, when I think of Liam Neeson, he's just like so serious.
Which I think works. That's why it works well here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because he plays just that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, in the new trailer, he's driving along, and then somebody just reaches in,
like some coffee. It's like great. It's just like,
where did it come from? I have so many
little
questions, but it's funny.
Yes.
So, I think I'm very much in on this.
Yeah, I'm excited. This comes out in August, so really soon. I kind of see all things considered. And the last thing is Spaceballs. Spaceballs 2. Have you ever seen the first Spaceballs?
I'm not.
This was. Let me take you back. Let me take you back to 2012, 2013. We were in prime Obama 2 era. And we first got Netflix. And I watched Spaceballs once a week for like 3 months. I love Spaceballs. And I think now is the perfect time to bring back Spaceballs. You can make fun of legacy sequels, obviously the Star Wars of it all, but like this little teaser clearly shows the way that the movie industry has gone since the first Spaceballs came out in 87. Like just such a great little oh man, I can't wait for this. I am very excited for this. Rick Moranis is back. Like, come on, dude. This is awesome.
For as little as I know about this entire trilogy, I think that trailer, just the awareness that it had for where the film industry currently is, I thought it was like the best 2 minutes I spent of my entire day. Like it was just, I found myself laughing. It's like the references to like 4 Beatles movies, 4 Beatles movies, question mark.
Someone listens to the pod.
Yeah, it was just, it was funny. And then obviously at the end, it's like, and Oppenheimer. Like,
no,
I thought it was funny.
It looked great.
I need to watch that. I never watched a bunch of like the quirky kind of like, I don't really know what they're called.
Like the Mel Brooks comedies.
Yeah, just like the kind of the rip-offs of like the big. I know there's like I think I watched the Starving Games, and that's like the one
Oh yeah,
kind of
no,
like
don't.
rip
Those
off.
are bad. No. You
That
want
one- that one's bad. I
you
agree.
want to find the Mel Brooks comedies. Those are so good.
I haven't seen any of his
Spaceballs,
movies.
Blazing Saddles, The Producers. Those are all good. History of the World.
He's got Young Frankenstein. Wow. Well,
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
sounds like I got a lot of catching up to do.
You do. And also great things. So Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement for this movie to play his Darth Helmet again. And then also we got Bill Pullman and Lewis Pullman back. Bill Pullman back, but Lewis Pullman is joining the cast along with Keke Palmer. And the fact they're going to just probably make fun of the Kylo Ren thing, like I'm your father, is going to be just electric. I guess.
That'd be awesome.
I cannot wait. And also, Lewis Pullman getting more work.
Dude, they
We're
got
big
it.
Pullman
Yes.
heads. This podcast
gotta-
has big Pullman heads.
They really got to go like deep in their bag and just just roast the crap out of just the
everything. Just everything. Just make fun of it all.
I'm excited.
It's so good. I think you're really gonna enjoy it, especially because like we're kind of fatigued with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like especially this podcast. Like I think you'll really enjoy Spaceballs. I actually might watch it again next week. So if you watch it again, let me know, and I might toss it. It's on
96
Max.
minutes. That's an easy watch.
Easy watch on Max. It's
All
the
right,
one to
I'm not
watch.
going to guarantee it's this week, but I will guarantee to have it in
All right.
2 weeks.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. But that's all we got. So let's jump into the full review. Let's give a Charles update. Charles is still sitting at his desk in the bank. So it is currently is it 8 p.m. for Charles right now? Is that what it is?
No.
2 hours?
Like 7?
What time is it in Denver?
You think it's
what
3
time
hours?
Is
oh,
it in Denver?
I forget. Are you on
It's
Central
8.
Time?
It's 8 o'clock. No, I'm in Eastern. It's 8
Okay,
o'clock.
yeah,
Charles.
me too.
8
Okay.
p.m. Charles is at his desk.
He's only 2 hours behind?
He's only 2 hours behind.
I don't know
He's
why.
he's like 3 hours driving to the line, or it's 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because I did that drive and it was crazy. All right, so let's do.
Should we like send him some flowers or something?
Yeah, maybe send him. Well, we could send him. What do you want to do? Kava, Rush Bowls, Chipotle, Little Finch. Oh my God! I didn't even do my thing that I ordered before. Okay, before we get into reviews.
Yeah. No, go.
All right, so folks. As we've talked about on this podcast before, I have not had the greatest track record when it comes to fat fingering purchases I don't need. So I just got a little thing in the mail here. Let me show it off. This little scary box. This box came through U.S. Customs because this package came from Vladislav Nokov, who is in Yukova, Ukraine. It took about 2 weeks to get here. And folks, this is one of my better purchases. For $4 plus shipping, I now own the knock list from Mission Impossible 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I Googled what it was, and it's a real thing, and I bought it. So it was $4, and it's electric. So now I own the knock list from Mission Impossible 1. I'm going to put it on my shelf because it's
That's
just
so cool.
so sick.
I feel like that's like totally up your alley.
Isn't that such a
It's
random
just,
thing that I'm like, this
it's like
is sick?
It's like the really small like props, and now you
Yeah,
have
it's
that
just
with,
like a little
your
thing.
popcorn bucket. And I feel like too, it's like Mission Impossible is like such a great franchise, but I don't think there's like as much like merchandise.
No,
as-
unless I bought like one of the giant head, like where they make the masks.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Whoa.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
That's a rabbit hole we could just go down for hours.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That'd be.
Ooh, the
I'll have
rabbit's
to look
foot.
into that.
The rabbit's foot would be sweet.
I'll have to look into that.
I know. I gotta get some like fake blood or something and like put the thumbprints on it. But that's a challenge for another day. But yeah, the knock list. So now also I have to get really good at close-up magic so I can do like is this list? It's just gone.
Yeah.
I did it with a key too. But so yeah, that is my my random thing I got. Let's do some reviews. So How to Train Your Dragon. I'll do this one first.
Yeah.
Folks, this is gonna be a fast review. This might be the fastest review in history of our reviews. Jack,
Can I take my headphones off? I don't want to get this ruined for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no spoilers. Folks, have you seen the original, the animated one? Well, by golly, you've seen this one because it's about the exact same. It's shockingly the same. Like there are points that it's like word for word, beat for beat, like frame for frame. And it's just like, man, I think you lose a little bit in the jump to live action. I think there's a little bit less whimsy. It's a little bit less magic. And that's not to like discount the action, like the actors here, like Mason Thames and Nico Parker, and honestly, Gerard Butler, and maybe one of the better performances of his career. He chews the scenery here. And the set design is incredible. Like it feels like you're there, which is the purpose of this. It just feels so unnecessary because it's like I've seen it. I've lived this movie before. And I hate to be that guy, but it truly feels like hey, we're gonna make a universal theme park that's How to Train Your Dragon. It'd be nice if we brought How to Train Your Dragon back into the cultural zeitgeist. And they were like, hey, live action remakes are pretty cool. Let's do that. And they did. And so that's my biggest issue with it. I feel like you got to start to do something different. And I did read an interview where they said the second one, they're not going to follow the same storyline as the second animated movie. So like at least there, it's like, all right, I'm kind of in because I like these characters, I like these actors, I do like what they're doing here. It's just like I've seen it, and like yeah, I've watched other live action remakes that is Disney ones, but like at least there's been enough time where it's like I've kind of forgotten it a little bit, and like I've kind of moved on, and now it's like bring me back. It's a little different. Like this is so recent, it's just so the same. And I think that it does lose a little bit of the magic in the jump to live action. But that's all I got. That's my How to Train Your Dragon review. And having said all that, I gave it 3.5 stars, and I'm going to give it like a 71 out of 100, which is insane, having been super critical of it. But like, it's not bad. It's arguably a very good and well-made movie. It's just so like derivative of the first, like of the original, which obviously that was the point. But like, I would argue that that's a negative quality for this one because it's like I've seen it. It's by the same director. It's by the same thing. It's like, guys,
Is it the same director?
it's the exact same director.
No way.
Yes, exact same director who did all 3 How to Train Your Dragons. He's doing this one. He's doing the sequel to How to Train Your Dragon 2, which comes out in 2027. Gosh. Like as much as it's just like guys.
He directed Lilo and Stitch along with Chris Sanders.
Yeah.
All right, well, I gotta love this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, my review is just like they did it again because that's all they just did. They just did the movie again.
I mean, I gotta say, like, being the director, you make the animated trilogy. They come back and they say, "Hey, you want to make a live action one?"
Oh yeah, you're like, of course.
I get it. Like you're like, I would be like, sure, I don't want anyone to mess up my baby. Like I'd be like, I would be sick because, to be honest. I know a lot of people don't like this because they're saying it's the exact same thing. And unfortunately for that reason, that's why I wasn't in a rush to go see it, you know? But I think if someone else directed this, maybe they could have taken a different direction. And man, this could have been such a misfire.
Yeah.
Much more than it actually was. Because the things I'm seeing, it's not like people are like, man, this sucks. And it's like, it's just like, it's the same. It's what we've seen. And I think it's because everyone holds the animated movie to such a high standard. I think
because it is just so good.
To everyone, it's like, I feel like it's like a 4 out of 5 minimum. I feel like that's just like a standard. I feel like that's just the standard score. I feel like 4 is like 4 out of 5 is the floor for the animated movie. And having anything that just feels devoid of all the emotion that is in the first one, you know?
Yeah.
It's just gonna just go straight through the floor. And I mean, it's crazy because on Letterboxd, this thing's got a 4 average, which is like insane to me, considering that you go to the original and the original's at a 4.1. It's like,
well, I mean, it's just the same. And like the thing too that I think hurts it is because like I love Jay Baruchel's voice as Hiccup. And then it's like, if you're doing the same lines and you're doing it again, it's like, you're almost doing a disservice to this guy who's like playing Hiccup because he just can't do anything different with the role. So I think if they need to go a different direction for 2 and probably 3 when they end up making it. And you can pull beats from it, but it's like I've seen this before. I don't need now 3 again being the exact same. It's like, okay, we set up the world. We got it now. Him and Toothless are friends. Let's do some different stuff here.
they're milking money out of this thing, though. I mean,
yeah. No, it's already made
$150 million budget, already at 197.
Yeah, no, it's flying.
It's insane. I mean, these live action movies, we talk about them and how much we love them, and they continually just make money. So, you know what? They bring people to movie theaters.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Sneaky Universal's like having a year. Like they got some good ones. And also like I think Jurassic's going to do well in a couple weeks, which also wild that Jurassic is not having any premium screens. Like Jurassic does not have IMAX and like it's crazy. But oh well.
It's just such a packed time. I mean, holy cow, if you're the Fantastic Four and Superman, I'm assuming are taking up those slots.
Yeah. It's like, why would you not have Jurassic? I mean, I get why you want Jurassic, but like toss Jurassic in the middle of August.
That's what I'm saying.
Like what's in August that's like pushing people away?
Naked Gun. Be afraid.
Oh, true, dude. That's actually facts. Think about that. Like, okay, let me look at the release schedule here. Hang on. Let me scroll down to August. All right, so August. The Bad Guys, Naked Gun, Freakier Friday and Weapons, Nobody 2, Honey Don't, Americana. Excuse me.
I don't know.
Caught Stealing. Like, yeah, there's nothing in like August. It's just so strange.
I don't know though. It's still gonna make a ton of money.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna make a lot of money.
I need it to make a lot of money. I gotta win the box office.
Yeah, no, it's facts. Did you have How to Train Your Dragon in the box office? Oh, no, you Jurassic in the box office game.
No. Funny enough, I had Karate Kid at 10.
Oh no, I should have made a list of that. Could you have it pulled up?
I have mine.
Can you have all of ours pulled up?
I only have mine, unfortunately. I just have it on my notes app, and I was just like, look, Avatar, Jurassic Park, Zootopia 2, Fantastic Four, and Superman. See, the problem is now I'm in the Wicked head, man. I'm like, Wicked's gonna be top 5 easy.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Wicked did so well this past year, and it's like you're telling me that the steam is gonna die down. I feel like more people are gonna hop on the train, man. Like it's gonna hit 1 billion. I said it last year. It didn't happen. This year, it's happening. Wicked's hitting 1 billion.
I mean, it's possible. It is very, very possible.
Yeah, but it's not impossible.
Oh, it's pretty fantastic. All right, let's do The Materialists. This one will be a lot more. The Materialists, directed by Celine Song, who brought us Past Lives in 2023. About New York, a young, ambitious New York City matchmaker finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex. Starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, and Zoe Winters. This follows. Honestly, this was a very interesting film because of the way it was marketed versus what it actually is. I think that's the biggest kind of takeaway. Is like it was marketed as like, "Hey, rom-coms are back, baby," and then now it's like, "Whoa, this is not a rom-com." So I think we should do no spoilers first. Yeah. Because there is obviously spoilers here. And I didn't really read your review. I guess so go ahead.
I mean, obviously like Past Lives, dude. Like I think that's one of the best movies of the decade. I will ride that into eternity. I saw it the first time and I think I just had such like high emotions on it. I'm like, I really need to watch this movie again to try and like gather my thoughts. I literally I rented it and I watched it twice, like within the same 24-hour period. So I think that was just a hard task to follow up in the first place. And I think that's why a lot of people's expectations were so high for this movie. With that being said, I went in this movie and I had just a great time. I think the leads are all fantastic. See, I don't love Dakota Johnson. I've never been a big fan of Dakota Johnson. I've never really watched something and been like, man, she's really moved me as an actress. But I think she's good in this. And I think she's a perfect casting for this type of character. Because I think you have this person who is, a matchmaker and it almost feels so robotic. I feel like it fits in this story. Or at least for me, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
But then you have Pedro Pascal, which I think Pedro Pascal just kind of does what he always does in every movie. I wasn't really, some people were really blown away or thought he did great, but like for me, like Chris Evans, my boy Chris Evans is like, he was the standout in this movie. He was incredible. I think it's like every single second that he was on screen, I felt like he was just killing it. Maybe I'm just hyping him up too much, but I feel like his character didn't get as much screen time as I thought he would have.
He's the best part of this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
In my not like I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway, or like, if you're expecting a rom com, I think you're going to find yourself you're in a just like, it's not a rom com at all. I think there's parts that you could maybe find that are humorous because they are so like, there's such a strong comparison to like what real life kind of looks like. Or at least that's where I kind of found myself. Like something would happen, I'd be like, oh, I can definitely like relate to that, or like, or my friends can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I don't know. Once we get to the spoilers, I can kind of break that down a little bit more. But like, this movie definitely does take a turn, and I think if you're watching for the rom com, I think you get to a certain point and you're kind of like, oh,
yeah, I think it's almost
Ooh.
off-putting if you're looking for the rom-com.
Yeah. So I again, I think it's a very well acted movie in my opinion. I think everyone did a great job, but I came out of this movie, I really loved it, and I think the more I sit with it, the less I love it as much as I did.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same camp as that. The more
I initially had this at a
it,
4, and I lowered it to a 3.5.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. And I love Celine Song, and I love like there's parts of this movie where you can just feel her strong direction and what and how she wants to tell this story. But I think it's not necessarily like how the story is told, but it's more or less like the actual substance of the story itself.
Yeah. I also think Dakota Johnson is wrong here.
Okay.
I think that she, while giving a good performance, I think it hurts the material. I think the material needs a bit more nuance to the emotion in different scenes. And I feel as though Dakota Johnson has like, I don't know, let's call it 4 levels. And I feel like you need someone with at least 8 to 10, where it's like I can feel the little bits of difference between the scenes. And I just don't think that she's there to give a performance like that. And I also kind of feel the same about Pedro Pascal, because I think that specifically the scene later on, which I kind of just want to get into spoilers to talk about that.
Do you have anything else to say for?
I think overall I like it. I think Chris Evans is the best part of this movie. I think that the message actually works. I don't think works wonderfully, but I think works well enough to get the point across. And I do think though that this is better than most things that we've gotten this year. Even though that I have a lot of issues with it, I think that it's still better made. I think it's better written. I think it's better directed and acted than most things we've gotten so far this year. I just still have issues with it, which I think is fine. And I think that's the point of it, though, to take away kind of a different thing for each person, maybe depending on your life experience. But yeah, that's all I got. Non-spoiler. I mean, we can get a review, like a rating real fast. So I gave it a 75 out of 100.
Yeah, I think I'm at like a. See, the problem is, it's like I've gotten to where like I've been like done my rankings for the entire. Yeah. So like right now, I have this like right behind Mission Impossible. When I stepped out of the theater, I had this at number 3 on the year. I had this behind Warfare and in front of Thunderbolts.
It's my number 6 of the year.
Yeah, it's number 6 for me too.
Okay.
And I've had a tough time kind of like placing where I put this, but like I'm kind of like 74 range, like 74 for me. Okay. When I stepped out of the theater though, holy cow, I was at like an 80. And the more I just sit with it, the more I think on it,
the less I liked it.
Yeah.
But so now getting into the spoilers of it all, the breakup scene between Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal. I think that is the biggest moment where you can feel the lack of nuance to the performances. The Pedro Pascal of it all, like him just getting up in a huff about like his leg surgery that he got to be taller. I think I wanted maybe a bit more sadness from him.
Depth.
And like just like I feel like he was just kind of telling us what happened, and he was like, "Yeah, this," but like I never felt like he was a deeply like empty person.
Like a real person.
Yeah, and I think too,
Yeah.
like Dakota Johnson, like even though like she obviously was breaking up with him so that she could be with Chris Evans, and like she chose kind of love over like the perfect match. Even with her, I never felt like she was like torn about it. Like her whole kind of worldview is like shattering in this moment, and it was just like, well, it's okay, we'll get over it. And I just
Yeah.
I wanted some. I didn't need her to scream and sob and yell. I just wanted a bit more like emotion behind it. Um, and maybe that was a deliberate choice because like clearly like those two were paired together in a business sense instead of like
Yeah.
the emotion of a relationship.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think there's a level you can give that I just don't think I got.
I mean, even then, it's like just like moments before that entire scene. She's looking through the bag. She finds the ring. He's gonna propose.
Yeah.
I get that it's supposed to feel transactional, but like I feel like just because it's transactional doesn't mean it can't be emotional at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
even business transactions like have emotion behind them.
exactly. And I think there's just like I think it's
Yeah.
easy to throw this aside and be like, you know what? They're both like treating, love and a relationship like a business decision, so they don't have their emotions. But then if you think about real people that are in that situation, all right, well, if you're making a business deal with somebody and they're about to sign pen to paper, or you think they're about to sign pen to paper and they don't, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. Like,
Yeah.
I'd get upset. I wouldn't just like squat down and be like, hey, like that was funny. I laughed. I thought that was funny. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. The part where he like shortened himself by 6 inches.
I thought that was kind of like a.
I was the
I
only
think it was
person
supposed to be
in
like
my
a
theater.
levity. Okay, so my theater all kind of laughed, and I felt like it was supposed to be like a levity moment.
Like it was a very stressful situation. He's
Yes.
kind of like making fun of. Yes, I'm right there with you. I felt so bad laughing because I laughed and I kind of like. It's like I laughed and looked around and everybody's just like, "What's this guy laughing at?"
No, see, my whole theater did laugh.
Okay.
At that.
I was also expecting like the legs. I thought it was gonna be something traumatic. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a callback to earlier, but I mean, I do agree with you. Like the whole like love as a business transaction or marriage is. I mean, ties back to the beginning of her and her coworker sitting on the stoop outside, like talking about it like they were trading stocks. Like
yeah,
that is kind of the whole mindset of this movie. But I think as it went along, I wanted a bit more of Dakota Johnson. Maybe like it felt like she learned that lesson, and it kind of just felt like she didn't become more emotional as it went on. Like, because Chris Evans brings a whole lot of emotion to this movie.
100%.
And so I never felt like she matched him, even at the end when she's like, I'm ready to be with you. And like, I felt like the only time she maybe did is when he proposed at the end. I feel like then there it was like, all right, here's the emotional catharsis moment. But like, I felt like it was kind of too little too late.
And like even as it like the joke, like the business transaction where he's like, you know what, I have an offer like you can't refuse.
Yeah.
Like he was great. But then they like shake hands and I'm just like I get it. It's like a joke, but like
embrace a little.
And like I mean, for me, I just think I'm just gonna talk about the elephant in the room, or for me, what was the elephant in the room and like what I continually look back on and find to be like the biggest problem is that like the whole situation that happens with her client.
Sophie.
Yes, with Sophie.
Yeah.
I just don't quite know how I can wrap up how I feel about that situation. Like obviously that is a terrible thing that does happen in, the world today. But I don't know how I felt about using that technique as kind of the flip over for her, where she can finally feel emotion.
Yeah.
Like in movies in general, with that type of stuff, I kind of have a tough time with just how it's dealt with. And for me, I really feel like they can use something. There's got to be a million other ways you can deal with, material or have characters develop without this sort of, I don't know, I'm just going to say like trigger warning potentially. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
I think I didn't really have an issue with them doing it and like her
Mhm.
choosing to go that path to do it. I think my biggest issue with it was that it almost felt like it was a crucial piece of you like Dakota Johnson's character arc that like it's almost a good like not a good it's almost like a big thing that it happens because then she learns a lesson. It's like I don't it kind of made it feel even
Yeah.
ickier. Like
Yeah.
it just was like, oh, like that's the path we're going down. And obviously, like if that, in that field, and even they say in the movie, like in that field, it was like, well, this is the first. It's not. It happens to the best of us. Like, if you do it long enough, it happens to everybody. And like, okay, but I feel like then if that's the story you want to tell, then make it about that. Like, don't put that on the back burner to then tell your love story because I think it takes a lot of the emotional weight out of it, especially if you're
Yeah.
using that as kind of like the nexus point of her learning her lesson. It's like I just felt like that made it extra icky in a way that was gross.
No, that's well put. That's
Yeah.
like I feel like that's how my feelings towards this, and I'm really having a tough time kind of putting those feelings into words, especially the
Yeah.
more I look on it. So I think you kind of put it in a
I do think though the choice of not making you see the man was a good
100%.
choice. Yeah, I
Yes,
was like, I
100%.
think that was a great choice. Like just
There's
like
there's yeah,
yeah.
there's a while I didn't necessarily agree with, the narrative, I think like how they dealt with it, what like the problem for me was they just kind of like brought it up and then it just like kind of shows back up into the story when it needs to be important,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it just felt kind of like not fake to me, but like even again, they have this super romantic conversation in the fields and he's like, when I like the best line, like hands down of this entire movie is like, when I look at you, like I see gray hair and like
Yeah.
kids that look like, dude, like I like that alone, like I could bawl my eyes out to that. Like that was like phenomenal. Chris Evans, like at his peak in this movie was like so good. And then moments later, they're like rushing back to New York and it's just,
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
just
what?
it takes you because it like in the grand scheme, her finding love is so much smaller than like this woman when what she's dealing with, like being assaulted. And so then like when they kind of go back and forth, it's like one of these things is much more important than the other. And like you're trying to make me care about the other one. And I think
Exactly.
that takes
Yes.
me out of it, especially like their big emotional catharsis moment of them like coming together is outside her apartment. Like I just feel like that as a choice, I get why she made the choice and I get it, but I think it harms the movie because it is such a serious thing that I feel like is almost treated as like a plot point
Yeah.
versus like what it is. And
Mhm.
you know what? Maybe that's a commentary on the the fact it happens more than it should, and it's just kind of one of those things that happens, even though
Yeah.
like if you want to make that argument, more power to you. But I felt that it changed the importance of what was happening in the movie to such a degree that it harmed it overall.
No,
Um,
I could not agree with you more.
but some positive things are, I think the best choice in the movie was to make Pedro Pascal a relatively good guy. Like, I think it would been
Yeah.
very easy to make him just like an ass and like a guy you're
Yeah.
like, well, you pick him for the money, but like he was just such a neutral person and like just
Yeah.
such a what quote unquote what women want person. I mean, she said it a million times. He's perfect. Like that I think it made
Unicorn.
it better. Yeah, exactly. It made it better
Yeah.
than and I think it was the harder thing because I think too leaving it, like I'm sure some people feel that way where it's like maybe Pedro was the right choice. Like, really, do I want to be with Chris Evans? Who, yeah, I love Chris Evans, but do I really want to be eating diner food forever, or like, living the life of Pedro Pascal and living a life of ease, where maybe there's not as much love there, but there is a comfort in that. Like, I think that helps make that choice that she made more emotional and more better, like much better for the movie. Because it does make you kind of question, like, what choice would you make? Like, I
Yeah.
think it depends on the person you are and like the life you've experienced. Like, if you experienced the the Chris Evans side of it, and you've experienced like the her and Chris Evans, it's like, well, obviously the choice is there. If you haven't experienced that, or you've, really just struggle with dating and you're like, I wish a Pedro Pascal would come out of nowhere and just kind of sweep me off my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like then it's like, well, then there's your obvious choice, because it's like he's still a good guy at the end of the day. It's just he just wasn't an emotional connection. And I do think that works well.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, like watching this, and as soon as I finished up, I was like, there's gonna be nothing like three dudes that are all in relationships talking about what modern dating looks like.
Yeah, like what a modern woman dating in New York looks like.
All guys that have been in long-term relationships and
Yeah.
what that looks like in New York. I
Yeah.
was like, that's just, people are just gonna eat that up.
Yeah.
But no, I think Pedro was just, I think he was, again, I thought he was what he was supposed to be. I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he was like bad. But I will say, I like the scene of them in the restaurant where we start off and the camera's like all the way back and there's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
Scene. There's people cooking in the back. They're having this conversation at the table. And basically, he does the whole spiel of like, you're taking me to all these nice restaurants. And, basically they're talking about like value and like, what does value look like?
Yeah.
And essentially it's like the undertone or like kind of maybe not the theme, but like what they're trying to say through this conversation is like, especially in like the world today, people see value in things that are expensive,
Yes.
and it's like going to an expensive restaurant that shows value. And it's like, what I thought Chris Evans, when they were driving through the back, I was like, I mean, maybe this is dumb thought, but I was like, maybe he set up a nice romantic picnic. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like what he could do.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just, I thought the conversation that they had was great. And I think it's like Celine Song does a great job. Again, in past lives, I think the silence in that movie is just as powerful as the dialogue. And I think in this movie, I think she just kind of like sprinkles a little bit of that there, especially during that scene where they're sitting at the table facing each other, having this conversation about, you're a unicorn, you're perfect. She's analyzing him like a dating calculator.
Yeah.
And he's like, fully sitting there knowing that like he is a flawed person, not like he's not a bad person, but like everyone has their flaws, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but he's just so devoid of like a personality.
Exactly.
He basically is like just like a robot person. Like there is no discernible like trait about him. And it's funny, like you get more personality from Chris Evans' roommates than you do from Pedro Pascal movie, which is like, I think a very deliberate choice. Like, I mean, I think that like too, there is, you could definitely tie this movie in a sense to like American Psycho of, like Patrick Bateman in that movie doesn't have a whole lot of personality that he expresses to the world, but like internally we see the personality that he has, and it's like a psychopath.
Yes.
But like I do think that there's like a section of people in today's world that like just do things because they're like culturally normal, and like they don't do things outside the cultural norm because it's like, why would I? And I think that Pedro Pascal is like a perfect example of that. It's like he shops at the right like stores, he wears the right clothes, like he goes to the right restaurants, not because it seems like he even gets a lot of joy out of it. It's just because like it's the right thing to do. And he says as much, basically. It's like, I have enough stuff for everybody. It's like, well, like that's where he's searching for an emotional connection. Yeah. But in reality, he's not. He's searching for like a business connection because he's so devoid of emotion and devoid of personality that like to him, even she is like full of personality. Where like I think that's probably Dakota Johnson's strength. This movie is because like she's so lacking personality that like it helps her. But yeah, I think that was such an interesting choice, especially because like Chris Evans is the opposite of that. Like he is only personality.
Oh, he was great. So great. Good.
So also this movie brought back cigarettes. So shout out.
Yes. That like it made me want to. Like
yeah, there you go. That's the real lesson to take away from this movie.
It's like the scene in Sinners where they have a beer.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah.
But
and it's funny, like, as much as this movie rejects being a rom-com, it follows the formula. Like, it does.
Yes.
She runs away at the end to be with the guy she should be with. and like they get together, and like it's like I mean, think of like early 2000s and like 90s rom-coms. Like the woman lives in New York and has like a very interesting job and meets like, it follows that formula. It's just kind of rejects it at every turn, which I think works well. So I know it sounds like maybe we were a little negative on this movie. I think overall, though, this is like a very well made, well done movie. But I think that the fact that we can say so much about it is a testament to that thought process and like the ability that they were able to do in this movie.
Yeah. I feel like this movie alone is very like, it's very, no, like head on what it's very straightforward on what it's trying to tell you. It's not like any of these themes they're trying to just like sprinkle it in there and be like, ooh, I wonder if they catch that, because they're like, everything they want you to know and everything they want you to think about is there. And honestly, for that reason, I think that's why it does provide so much thought, or like it provokes so much thought. Like,
agreed.
I think that I could sit here all day and talk about, things that I've heard people say, or I've, heard things that my friends have said about like the current dating world and what it looks like. And it's like, how you have Dakota Johnson's character who is a matchmaker and who says, I don't want to go on a date with someone if they don't have this, this, and this. When in reality, it's like my perspective on this. And I thought the message of the overall story was good because it's like, love is the foundation of a marriage. Love is the foundation of a relationship with someone. And to try and base that off something else feels ridiculous. And I think that's what this movie really tried to push. And for that reason, I liked it, and I liked that was the message that they ended up going with, because very much when they're sitting at the wedding and they're like, why do people get married? And they're having that whole conversation and they're like, you know what? Because they're just going to end up fighting about things that don't matter and they're going to do it in front of the kid. Like, obviously she's just ranting about her own personal experience. But I can't say enough, like how there's, especially the discord off this movie has been insane. Like people are calling it like the broke boy propaganda. And like Chris Evans, they're just bashing on Chris Evans in this movie, and I just could not be more against it. Like, no, I feel like Chris Evans in this movie, he's working the jobs like sure, he doesn't have a lot of money, but like nowhere in this movie am I like, oh, he's just bumming it and he's just sitting around and not working, not trying to achieve his dreams. And it's like, he's working these jobs so that he can try and achieve his dreams.
And also, too, like the thing that he says at the end, and I think the thing that the movie kind of wants you to get away from, too, is like the whole time people are asking for like the perfect person. Like, I want this person now to be exactly these things. And like, that's not what you're supposed to grow with somebody. And like, even Chris Evans, his dream is to be a stage actor. But like, even at the end, it's like, he now knows he has responsibility outside of himself and to her. And so he's like, I will do more stuff. I'm going to actually get like a restaurant job and like really try. And like, I will take the, advertising commercials, like, because, they suck, but like, at least they're good money. And like, I can actually like start to provide for someone. And like, now she's changing too. Like her mind, and you kind of grow as each, like together into a new version of yourself, thanks to each other. And like, that's the thing I think that everyone got wrong. And that's why none of the relationships worked out in the movie, is because they just wanted that handed to them, and like that's not what it is. And I think that's what worked really well about it too. So.
I just think it's so funny. It's just seeing how people have reacted to
it tells you a lot about a person.
Like, yes, exactly. And there's like some people that'll comment on this and I'll look at their profile picture, and it's me being a little tad bit judgy, but it's so funny because like you said, you can tell a lot from what side you kind of swing on, because there's a lot of people that are like, you know what, like a business transaction would sound nice. It's kind of like, to me, I get it, I'm in my 20s, but that just sounds crazy. Like I can't fathom a life where it's just so devoid of like the actual like love and respect and care that like a relationship is supposed to have. So
I'm with you.
I don't know.
But I think that the length of that conversation is a testament to how good this movie is. So
100%. Go see it. I mean,
go see it. This is definitely one to see with the crowd too. Like, I really do recommend it. I think this is a good one to see.
Chris Evans
also support like actual like art driven film. Like, this is the kind of stuff we should be supporting. I think it's doing well at the box office. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it got like 12 million
15
domestically.
million open. Yeah, $12 million
Okay.
opening and then 15 worldwide.
I think it had a $20 million budget.
That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think more people will see. It's one of those movies I feel like more people will see. Or
yeah, I
maybe
think
not,
that word of
depending on
mouth,
how.
maybe.
I don't know.
So, but yeah, that is the Materialists, and we'll do a live look at Charles to see where he's at. Charles is at his desk. It is currently almost 9 p.m. for Charles, and he is at his desk. That's tough to see. Charles, we miss you, King. Next week, we will have 28 years later, and we'll be talking some other stuff. So
Is that this weekend?
It is this week. Yeah, I got my tickets for
No
Thursday.
way.
I'm going Thursday.
Holy cow.
We got a lot. So this week is 28 years later in Elio. Next week's F1 and Megan, and then Jurassic, Superman, Nothing, and then Fantastic Four. Also, my local theater is replaying the Muppet movie from 1978. Yeah, and I'm gonna go. I got my tickets already, so I'm pretty hyped for that. I'm gonna go see the Muppets on the big screen. So yeah. Anything else? You got anything else?
No, go to the movies. There's so there's so much.
There's so much stuff.
Still in theaters. I mean, I feel like you could literally just pull your finger out and just pick a movie.
And how much stuff there is out right now.
It makes me happy. Like it's just going to the theater and seeing. I mean, I hate the waiting times, but I actually used the pre-order on the app, and it was like I picked it up while everyone was in line. Like, but seeing the movie packed out is just like.
Go get some Glorp, dude. Go
awesome.
Go get a cup of Glorp.
Glorp.
So yeah. All right. Till next week. Have a good week, folks. Peace.
Peace.
Love you guys.